So recently, I've got into a little band called Death Grips, and they're kind of just a small bit, maybe one of the greatest bands of all time. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. What I am here to talk about is their fourth studio album, The Powers That Be. More specifically, the first half of the double album. The album that their Caucasian fan base, or 90% of them, cannot say at all. NOTM is, in my opinion, their best album. I can and probably will gush about the entire album on a later video, but that mostly depends on how well this video does. But without further ado, this is why Big Dipper is one of the greatest closers to an album of all time. Big Dipper as a standalone track is very good. The musical aspects of it, as well as the pretty straightforward but interpretive lyrics, make it a standout Death Grips track. However, as a closer, and with knowledge of the entire album before the closer, its meaning and significance become way more elevated than if you didn't have the background knowledge. One of the main things that really sells this track to me as one of the greatest closers of all time is how the actual song was composed. The drummer of the group, Zach Hill, played on an electric drum kit the drummer of the group, Zach Hill, played on an electric drum kit with a bunch of Bjork's vocals and weird electronic sounds, and the result is what you hear on the entire album. But for Big Dipper, the sounds Zach chose to use are all sounds that had been used on previous songs throughout the album. But the reused sound to me that makes Big Dipper amazing is a vocal of Bjork singing. But the thing about the vocal that is cool is that up until that point, you never heard the entire vocal or hear it not chopped and mixed to an insane amount. And Zach knows this. So near the end of the song, he lets the vocal play in its entirety, and it may be one of the coolest musical callbacks of all time. Hearing that complete vocal feels like the definition of clarity. Another thing that makes Big Dipper amazing are MC Rai's lyrics. Rai has always had amazing lyrics in his song, but even though Big Dipper's lyrics are more straightforward than a lot of the other Death Grips songs, I personally feel like they're very impactful and really cool when you start to realize what Rai is trying to say. The phrase Big Dipper refers to the constellation that is a big part of Ursa Major that has the shape of a Big Dipper. The meaning of the phrase when used in the song is a metaphor for how Ride is someone that his fans look up to, and that Ride, like a Big Dipper, pours his music and his art over his fans. The various things Ride calls himself before ultimately saying he's a Big Dipper really characterize Ride, and say that even though I'm all these bad and usually frowned upon things, I'm a Big Dipper, and I'm influential on my fans. But the main reason this song is so great to me, ignoring the musical callbacks and great lyrics it has to be the last 2 or 3 minutes of the song that is just Zach going insane on the drum kit and doing a drum solo. I can't even begin to explain how amazing this is. It contains at least 6 sounds from each song of the album, and it has an even stronger sense of musical callback. It sonically sounds haunting, but also like you've unlocked a final piece of a puzzle, or like you've been put through psychedelics by extraterrestrials. It's truly the apex of what Death Grips is, at least to me, because of how you can feel a sense of a person just not caring about what anybody says or what anyone's looking at them or anything like that, and you're just playing their heart out, being them, and they're making their art. I can seriously get into more detail about how the drum solo makes me feel, but I can say that for another video or for when I just talk about this to my friends or something. I hope you enjoyed this video. This is my first time doing anything like this, so please leave any criticism or thoughts in the comments. They're always appreciated. Yeah, thank you. The meaning of the phrase in the song when used The meaning of the phrase when used in the song is a metaphor for how Ride is someone that his fans look up to, and that Ride, like a Big Dipper, pours his music and his characterization of Ride onto all his fans, and that really makes him a character, kind of. And all of his art, especially, like, if we're going to go off topic here, it's kind of off topic, but, like, in a way, it could be talking about, you know, his visual arts, because he's a very good visual artist, but that's kind of off topic. And it really helps characterize Ride and say that even though all these things make him bad, like, I mean, oh my god, why did I go off topic, man?